As protests continue, the Myanmar police have allegedly been instructed to shoot the protesters till they are dead. Now, the report emerged from the Myanmar police officers who are currently in India. 8 police officers have entered the Indian state of Mizoram after escaping the war-torn country. One of the police personnel, Tapeng, refused to follow the orders from Myanmar military, left his home and family, travelled for 3 days and finally crossed into India's northeastern state of Mizoram. Listen in to Tapeng to know what happened in the Myanmar town of Kampat.
During 6 to 26 February, the people freely held demonstrations and protests. However, from 28 February, protests were not allowed and we had to disperse the people. And if they did not obey, we were ordered by our commanding officers to shoot them. I could not follow or obey my officer to shoot my people, and I fled my country. The duty of the police is to protect the people. In fact, the shooting of people by the Myanmar police and army is against the law. So, I could not follow those orders. I miss my family. I am married and I have 2 children. So I miss them every night. I could not sleep well.
According to a classified internal police document, the description of events are similar to that given to police in Mizoram. Tapeng's story is among the first cases reported by the media of police fleeing Myanmar. According to a senior Indian official, around 100 people have crossed over a porous border into India since the protests began. Most of them are policemen and their families. Several have taken shelter in Mizoram's Champhai district, bordering Myanmar. Authorities in Myanmar had asked Mizoram to detain and return the 8 police officers. The Chief Minister of Mizoram has decided to provide temporary food and shelter to those who have fled Myanmar. Meanwhile, a decision on repatriations is pending with India's federal government.
Well, if people fearing for their lives in order to escape the unavoidable circumstances happen there in their home place, what we have to do is only to give them food and shelter, because this is humanitarian point of view. Beyond that, everything depends upon the central government of India. It is their subject.
Myanmar's military junta is showing no signs of backing down as it continues to clamp down on the anti-coup protesters. Amid the mounting international condemnation against the brutal crackdown, military generals have hired an Israeli-Canadian lobbyist firm, Dickens & Madsen, in a bid to explain itself to the world. Ari Ben Menashe is the lobbyist hired by the generals. The firm will be paid $2 million by Myanmar's junta to assist in explaining the real situation of the army's coup. This explanation would then be presented to the United States and other countries. The army has justified the coup by saying that a November election won by the NLD was marred by fraud. Now, this is a claim that has been rejected by the Electoral Commission. While the EC has promised a new election, it has not said when that might be held. On the other hand, the security forces were engaged in a standoff at the staff compound of railway workers. Meanwhile, the United States condemned it, saying that it was repulsed by the use of lethal force against protesters. More than 60 protesters have been killed and over 1,900 people arrested since the 1st of February, when Myanmar's generals seized power and began detaining civilian leaders, including State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.